Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in today's class, we're going to have you building a column-based chart using a very common Microsoft program entitled Microsoft Excel. To get started on this, first things first, you need to go to Student Share. I happen to get to it through my computer. There's a variety of different ways, but in Student Share, under Mr. Millette, under Science, and under C3, Are You a Square? You're going to find a bunch of student templates towards the end there. Pick any one of the student templates. I'm going to choose number 3 because it doesn't look like it's being used at this moment. But student template number 3, and all of a sudden you're going to get this beautiful little screen here, your Microsoft Excel screen, and you're going to notice the name of the file, student template number 3. We're going to need to rename this file so that it becomes our own. So first things first, over here in the Office button, Save As. And this is period G, so I want to make sure I open up the G folder because that's where I want to save it. And we're going to go and rename it Millette Joseph hyphen, and this is where it's important. Last name, comma, first name, hyphen, the assignment, C3, Are You a Square? Excellent. Now it's asking if I want to replace the one that exists. I'm going to say yes. So, now, depending upon what class you're in and where we are for collecting data, this is where we measured our arm span and our height. Hopefully everyone here was able to figure out whether you were a square, a tall rectangle, or a wide rectangle. But I'm going to go ahead and say that at this point, first things first, you want to rewrite your name. You want to put in the date. And you want to put in period, period G. Now, squares. I believe in the last class we did this, it was 5, 6, and 6. Whoops, 6. So 5, 6, and 6. At which point, now it's time to insert that chart. I'm going to start off by clicking on an empty cell, roughly where I want my chart to be. Next up, selecting the chart. Up in Insert here, you're going to see, after clicking the Insert tab, a bunch of different charts to choose from. I would appreciate it for this activity if we all chose a column chart. So column, and I'm going to keep it simple by just clicking on the 2D ones. You can play around with the 3D, the cylinder, and the cone, and the pyramids later, but if you could start off with the 2D, you can always change the chart type later. So, 2D column. Now, all of a sudden I got this nice little chart showing up right here, and I think the biggest problem that you're going to notice right off the bat, there's nothing in it. Well, that has to do with the fact that the computer program has tried to select some data that was nearby the cell that you selected. In this case here, it selected the word chart, which is not even data at all. So, also, I'm hoping some of you notice, at the top of the screen, what happens when I select on a cell versus selecting on the chart. If I select on a cell, any one of these cells, my chart tools box disappears up here. So if I select on a cell, chart tools is gone. Select the chart, chart tools comes back. Now, again, nothing in the chart. We need some data. So, make sure that your chart is selected, click on Design, and then click on Select Data. Once you selected data, you can actually see what it is the computer has selected. And again, as we figured before, it has selected the word chart, which clearly is not any data. So there's a step here where you can skip the step or you can do the step, but for the most part, because we already have a zebra flashing line running around a cell, we can go right to this process here. But if I go and click squares, tall, wide, and my numbers, all of a sudden my graph appears. If you don't have these zebra stripes hanging around your words, and you click on this box right here, you can do the exact same thing. Square, tall, wide, and 5, 6. Close it. And now you've got your chart started. So we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to kind of futz with the chart. I'm going to get rid of my legend. Don't really need it. I've got all my data here below. But we do need to add some things like a chart title and axis titles. Excuse me. So, with the chart tools icon lit up, we can click on Layout. And we can start moving through chart title, axis title. So chart title. Displays the title. I like the above chart. Bingo. And I can call that just simply, excuse me, cap locks. C 3, are you a square? And now I can do axis titles. I need a horizontal one, and I also need a vertical one, rotated. And now I've got pretty much everything I need, and I could just go and adjust things accordingly. So this would be your number of students. Cap lock still on. Number of students. And down here will be shape of students. Wunderbar. Alright, so I got a pretty solid little display going here. Now, before I do any printing, because I actually want you to print out this whole paper right here, I do want to make sure that everything looks okay. So if I click on the cell, any one of these empty cells, and I do a print preview right here, I get a quick little glance of what my paper looks like. Now, I do find that my paper is definitely shy on usage of the paper, so I want to make it a little bit bigger. To do that, I'm going to close the print view, and notice, now that you've done a print view and stopped, you have these dashed lines running across your paper. Those dashed lines represent the edge of the paper. So, let's go and do a couple things. I'm going to change this so that it's actually landscape, make my lines a little bit further out, and now I'm going to take my graph here and stretch it out to here. Perfect. I've got my axis titles, my chart title, all capitalized. I've got my data shown, my numbers on the side. I'm good to go here. I'm going to click File, Print, Preview one more time just to make sure so I don't waste paper. And if I zoom out a little bit, or scroll to the sides and whatnot, I can see all my chart made it in. Excellent, it all fits. And then I'm going to hit print. I'm going to print it to room 100 and be done with it. Alright folks, thanks again for watching, and appreciate you practicing making a column chart. One more thing you can practice doing actually is adjusting it to the different types of charts. See what happens when you turn it into a pie chart. What does it look like now? You make the best decision. I would appreciate a column though. Thanks guys. Bye.